Folks, welcome back to the shop. Well, here it is. It's finally here. And it doesn't, I know the intro here, it won't seem like much, but we've been waiting after 3 years now to do this video. This is the BlueCherry final product video. And for those of you that haven't followed along, it's been mentioned here and there, but we're going to do a little intro here and explain to you the BlueCherry concept and what the truck was conceived as and the goals and how it turned out. So to start with, everything gets a name. We name shit, we get attached to it. It's more than a truck to myself, the people that work here, and typically to our customers. So this one got named BlueCherry because we started with a very, very blue body, and largely that's what we cherry picked and plucked and transferred to what it became. And with that, BlueCherry being the donor, the blue parts of it, started life as a 1978 standard hood 359. The truck, we bought it down in southern Illinois. It had a small cam 855 and a bad frame, but pretty fresh paint on it. And it was pretty straight. Real nice body for a Midwest 1978 circa truck. Now what's special about a 78 would be that it was the first year of the dash of class, which is more commonly referred to as the Corvette dash with the large driver's side hump. It was originally a AV71 powered truck, and I believe it was always a 13-speed truck. It was nothing special spec-wise. Now the other truck that became the chassis was a 2006 378. That was originally an oil field truck. I've actually tracked down a couple of its sisters. The truck was brought up from Texas oil fields. It was purchased by a local farm. 6 months later, it had an electrical fire underneath the cab, and it burnt all the wiring, and most of the bottom of the cab it wasn't burnt, but it was waffled. And it was going to be a recab to redo it. Insurance junked the truck. I was able to get it bought. And that truck at that time had, I believe it was 79,000 miles on it. Correct. It showed 79 on the dash. It had 128 on the ECM, 128,000 miles on it. Original miles. The truck, very high houred. It's at and idled a lot, but the frame was super, super clean. And when it was pulled out of the oil fields, it was re-geared from a 411. Both rear ends were redone, and it had an 8LL that was pulled out. It's a CM870 ISX Cummins and a air track suspension. Now that truck was a 36-inch Unibilt flat top sleeper truck. And we got the bright idea, the concept being to maintain the 1978 look and appeal and the usability, the comfort of what we would consider a modern truck. And by modern, of course, we're talking 2006, 15-year-old truck, but for our intents, modern, but pre-emission. And with that, we get ourselves a pre-emission truck that is exempted from any sort of E-log, because it's still 1978 vintage, any sort of E-log and any sort of ABS, FMVSS, ABS requirements. Don't need any of it. Moving on to the form and function of it. With a modern truck, of course, we get a lot better frame. You have the short drag link from a 378, 379. Steering box is moved forward. It has better handling characteristics. Of course, electronic engine, the power, the high idle, the cruise, the jakes that won't kill the engine. It's a lot better driving experience. Modern, higher torque, 13-speed transmission. And then we took the Unibilt sleeper, the 36-inch sleeper from it, and that was a big part of the concept, was to Unibilt the cab and the bunk. Now, of course, an 1100, a 359 cab was never designed for Unibilt. We opened that up, big hold it with the Unibilt hole, which that's a pretty common, pretty normal thing, and there's some coverage in it in an earlier video. You get, I believe it was 8 inches back, more leg room by opening it up and being able to move everything back into the bunk. We did attach the bunk to the cab with the regular Unibilt brackets, but we did frame supports underneath to support it because the cab doesn't have that structuring in it. And also we put it on four airbags with a support. But the entire thing moves in unison, in marriage, as our heroes at Peterbilt or at PACCAR originally intended it. And that gives it a ride that really is pretty unparalleled. Even a modern day cab doesn't ride as good as a bunk truck. We had to switch out. We couldn't use the bracketry for the bags and the shocks from a 3 changed out, but it's still that bracket and those shocks and airbags in the rear of it. Now, with the rest of the cab, we dynamatted it inside and out, everything that we could cover, and we foam insulated the entire thing over the Dynamat, and the goal being a quiet, modern driving experience. Pretty happy with how it turned out, and even, truth told, a little jealous. My personal truck, Joyride, as far as ride quality and stuff, doesn't hold a candle to it. But we redid the rest of the cab was an entire gut with that. A new dash structure, new everything. We ended up with 20 gauges in it, I believe it was. Dual Bostrom, low air ride seats. We put a hardwood floor in it. What else? It was really just a one-off, custom comfort type build. So that said, we were 2.5 years into the build, and we ended up selling the truck before it was finished, which was nice because we were able to work with the new owners, and there was things that they wanted chrome-wise and detail and touch work. Some stuff that we added, the real taillight bar, the single hump fenders that ended up on the truck, those were all input from the customer. We put 4 lights in the back of the Unibilt. We were able to do a bunch of the custom touch stuff for them before we buttoned the whole thing up, which I think worked out really well for both of us. It was an absolute joy to do. It was very meaningful for myself, and I think most, if not all, of the people that were on the project. We did serial number it. We started with our own truck with Joyride and stuff, but we've now produced serial number tags, and moving forward, we'll continue to do that with the trucks that we build that come out of the shop here. So that's it. That's the BlueCherry build. I hope you guys enjoy it, and we didn't get as much footage into that one as we would have liked, but we learned our lesson. And there might be a bit of a hint in that. So check it out, enjoy it, and a huge shout out to Chuck and Dawn and family. We appreciate that. That air filter gauge is still crooked.
Is it hot back there?
What? No.
Yeah, let me double clutch once. I'll show you how to fuck up a heater.
Just give me a minute here. There we go. Yeah, don't miss a gear now when we're filming. There you go. Nailed it. Perfect.
Fuck it up real quick.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.